Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nolita Chabane. If it's your first time here, a very special welcome to you, and if you are returning, thank you so much for your continuous support. I really appreciate it. In today's video, I will be chatting about preparing for an interview. To be specific, how to answer the question, tell us about yourself, or how to put together your elevator speech that will really just impress whoever will be asking you. So one thing you need to recognize when you are asked, to tell people about yourself, it is by no way asking you to just tell them about the CV that they possibly have in front of them. So you cannot go and tell them, where you were born and, just give them your chronological history of your life. But it really has to be something that will captivate them and something that will make them remember you. So in an interview, you have very little time to make a good first impression, and you want to make sure that it is one that will make you to be remembered. You need to tell your story in answering this question to make sure that you tie in your history basically to the point where you are now. You need to recognize that there's different ways that this can be asked of you. For example, a recruiter might say, walk me through your experiences. I'd love to hear more about your journey. Or they can say, tell me a little bit about your background. So it's important to recognize when you are being asked to give your elevator speech. So bear in mind, this has to be different or tailored to each different job that you are applying for. So depending on the audience that you are talking to, you've got to, change it up a little bit. You can't always, have the same answer to the question, tell us about yourself. When you are asked, then you need to speak to, the present, but it doesn't matter. So your present, your past, and your future. It doesn't matter which order you speak, but you've got to make sure that it is relevant in the context, meaning to the interview that you are being interviewed for. For example, if you are speaking to the present, you will talk a little bit about what your current role is, what it entails, and then you might even touch on your recent accomplishment. For example, if I'm a sales representative and I'm being interviewed for a role as a junior manager, I would go something like this. So I currently hold a position as a sales representative, and in my current role, I have been acting as second in charge in the absence of my manager. This has exposed me to skills like, managing the team, allocating time, scheduling the team. I have learned quite a lot, and that then, is what you would speak to. That has told the recruiter of your managerial experience, one, and it has also told them that you are open to different responsibilities or being stretched beyond your current role. If I were to speak then with regards to my past as a sales representative, I could touch on how in high school, for example, I used to sell maybe sweets or snacks. That speaks of my sales, ability. I could speak on how I was a class monitor in high school, or maybe in tertiary, I was part of the SRC, the Student Representative Council, and that speaks of leadership. That speaks of, a passion for sales, and that then hopefully will inform the recruiter of my love for sales and also my leadership ability in that I've been able to manage others. Remember, in my present, I said I was a second in charge. That speaks to my managerial ability and leading the team. So tying in, your past, it would be a great idea also to just say, this is then the reason why I got interested in applying for this position, because I feel I am ready to take on a permanent managerial position, as I've been exposed and I've quite enjoyed looking after a team, managing a team, or just giving direction to the team. And also, if you're speaking to your future, this is now where you really speak and get into your career aspirations, where, for example, in the example that I'm giving, I could speak about how I see myself, managing a store on my own in future, or, a department, as a department manager, or whatever managerial role that you see yourself in. And if you are currently working towards that, this is a chance also to just drop that, to say, I'm doing my studies, in a diploma in management, to equip myself further for the role that I want to, get into in future in a managerial position. Now, that will really just interest people, captivate the people interviewing you, and hopefully then land you that job, and they will then have interest in you, because you've shared how everything ties in together, how in your past, when you were still in high school, you sold, you were the salesperson even back then, and how currently you've looked after a team, you're currently in a position as a sales representative, but with additional responsibilities of managing others, and how in future you see yourself in a management role in sales or in retail, or whatever the case is. So it's important also that you identify opportunities where you can brag a little about your accomplishments, like I did in the example where I spoke about how I've been second in charge. It's just an example, not me. How I've been second in charge to the manager when they were not around. And that's a way, you're not overdoing it, but you're just giving people of what you have been capable of doing. You can share a little bit about your skills, a bit of a third-party validation, to say, my boss really used to commend me of how everything flowed seamlessly in their absence. Maybe they were off like for some time on sick leave, and things stayed afloat without any issues when I headed the team. And that's your managerial skill. Very important then, as I shared earlier, that you have to tailor make your answering this question to the audience, depending on the role that you're applying for. Now, the example I gave was relevant if I was applying for a managerial position or a junior manager position in retail. It might not be relevant in an application for another role. So yes, you will be telling a slightly different story based on your audience, but it's not lies, obviously. Just you will need to pick whatever will be relevant to the position that you're applying for. I hope you have found this video helpful, and if you have, give it a massive thumbs up, like it, share it, put on the notification bell so that you don't miss out when I send the next one. And please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And goodbye. I will see you in the next one, everyone. Bye.